Hey everyone, welcome back to Film Prodigy. Today's question of the day is, can you describe the most disgusting pimple pop you've ever seen? Let us know down below in the comments. And before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and also leave a like on the video, and let's get into it. A huge blackhead. In a YouTube video, Dr. Pimple Popper digs a tunnel in a woman's back to remove a massive blackhead, and you won't believe how deep this man-made cave goes. In the video, Dr. Lee nicks the blackhead to make the extraction less harsh on the patient's skin. She then uses a comb down extractor to push down on the blackhead, causing an eruption of compacted skin and oil. Dr. Lee then uses a curette, a small scoop-like surgical tool, to clear out any compacted skin left in the open pore. After the removal, the hole left behind was amazingly and frighteningly deep, which is actually a good thing, Dr. Lee explains. It would help the growth heal from the inside out, hopefully preventing any regrowth from occurring. Toward the end of the clip, Dr. Pimple Popper removes a few scattered blackheads on the patient's back, which are much smaller. In total, the derm removes about 5 specks dotted around the patient's back. Dr. Lee also flashes a huge inflamed blackhead hidden under a bandage on the patient's shoulder during the video. That growth, Dr. Pimple Popper says, has to be removed another time when it is less angry. I wanted to see that big, juicy, inflamed one get excised, one fan commented on the video. Well, that's certainly something to look forward to.
Better, huh?
Yeah.
Almost there.
The Masked Man. In one of her YouTube videos, Dr. Pimple Popper works to unmask a patient by removing the stubborn blackheads gathered around his eyes. The repeat patient has been lovingly nicknamed the Masked Man by Dr. Lee due to his blackheads formation. This particular video chronicles the Masked Man's third visit to Dr. Lee's office in their first meeting. The famed derm removes some sticky, stubborn blackheads from his mask, prescribing retina to help loosen the remaining clogged pores for his next visit. During his second visit, the patient got a steam facial, which further loosened the blackheads and led to more successful pops. Now the patient is back for another facial and to give the most stubborn blackheads the boot. In the video, Dr. Lee uses a comb down extractor to push down on the man's mask, forcing out the last of his blackheads. Interestingly, Dr. Lee uses the man's bone structure to aid in removing, pushing down his brow bone and cheekbone to force the blackheads out. I like the ones around his eyelids because they're a little tough to get, but they are satisfying, Dr. Lee says in the video. Dr. Lee is so successful in her removals that she no longer has a backlog of blackheads to get to. You know you're doing better when I start to look around, Dr. Lee says as she scans the patient's face for more skin concerns. Thankfully for this patient, not much to prove is in the before and after photos Dr. Lee shares in this video, which are genuinely incredible.
None of my grandchildren have ever seen me without this blackhead. It's a ghost of Christmas that I need to get rid of.
Doris's cheek is a little tighter on one side, but her smile is so much brighter without that big old blackhead on her face.
The Unicorn. Doris, identified only by her first name, explained that she saw to Lee's help for a giant blackhead situated by her right ear. Once seated in an exam room with Lee, Doris explains that her sister used to try and squeeze out the blackhead, but stopped after an extraction attempt in 1975 that caused pain. This looks like what we call the unicorn here in dermatology, Lee said during the special. It is pretty rare to have something this big. It's called a dilated pore whiner, and that is just a giant blackhead that has gotten so big it stretches out the pore. While dermatologists don't know why some people get them, they think that sun exposure and cystic acne history may be risk factors. Lee made an incision across the top of the brow and then used gentle pressure to squeeze out its hard black cap. It's like a petrified rock you got in there, Lee said to Doris during the procedure. That thing's pretty hard. Yep, that's your lump of coal. Next, Lee used a cotton spoon-like tool called a curette to dig out the remaining depow contents, then stitched up the skin where it had been, so the hole that left behind would not refill. That's all the time we have for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.